So, you've never seen Ichi the Killer, but you're curious about what to expect? Brace yourself. This isn't just a movie. It's a full-on assault on your nerves, stomach, and sense of decency. Ichi the Killer is a masterpiece of unrestrained artistic madness. If you're not a fan of blood-soaked chaos, you might want to skip this review. But if you've got the stomach and curiosity for the wildest cinematic spectacle imaginable, Takashi Miike's infamous creation demands your attention. The story kicks off with the disappearance of a Yakuza boss, Anjo, who vanishes along with 100 million yen. Enter Kakihara, played by the brilliantly deranged Tadanobu Asano, a sadomasochistic psychopath on a mission to retrieve both his boss and the cash. But things get complicated when Ichi, now Amori, enters the picture, a deeply disturbed and brutally violent antihero who's both horrifying and tragic. Ichi is less of a person and more of a walking psychological wound, channeling childhood trauma into an almost superhero-like capacity for destruction. He's the kind of character who scares villains and heroes alike. Watching Ichi the Killer feels like stepping into a live-action manga panel, with all the over-the-top gore and surrealism that entails. It's hyper-real, grotesque, and unflinching. Blood sprays like a Tarantino fever dream. Intestines spill like spaghetti on a linoleum floor, and all of it is underscored by a soundtrack that veers between jarring rock riffs and eerie, experimental soundscapes. This isn't just violence, it's violence as performance art. And somehow, amid all the carnage, there's humor. Dark, twisted humor that leaves you questioning your own reaction. You'll find yourself laughing nervously even as the gore piles up. That's the magic, or madness, of Miike. He flips between horror and absurdity with such precision that you can't quite settle into either. Miike's direction is unrelenting, shifting between moments of stunning visual clarity and grotesque chaos. One standout moment features Kakihara in a bright purple coat and green scarf, framed against a blood-red wall. It's not just a shot. It's a portrait of aesthetic instability. The film's cinematography feels like a fever dream, gorgeous, unsettling, and impossible to look away from. If you're expecting a classic narrative arc with a clear beginning, middle, and end, you'll be disappointed. Ichi the Killer is less of a story and more of a series of nightmarish vignettes. It's chaotic, episodic, and at times utterly baffling. Logic takes a backseat to raw emotion and shock value. The plot, if you can call it that, serves as a loose framework for Miike's exploration of human cruelty, power dynamics, and the darkest corners of human desire. The film's characters are as unhinged as its story. Kakihara, with his grotesque facial scars and love of pain, is a walking contradiction, equal parts tragic and terrifying. Asano plays him with such manic energy that you can't help but be fascinated, even as he revels in acts of unspeakable violence. Then there's Ichi, a killer who's both predator and prey. He's a heartbreaking figure, a child in a man's body, twisted by trauma into a weapon of destruction. Watching Ichi is like watching a psychological case study unfold in real time, and Amori's performance is chilling in its intensity. Yes, Ichi the Killer is violent, unbearably so at times, but it's also a surreal, almost theatrical exploration of violence. Miike pushes gore to such absurd extremes that it stops feeling real, becoming instead a grotesque ballet of blood and chaos. This isn't realism, it's abstraction, and it's as horrifying as it is hypnotic. By the end of the film, you'll likely feel a mix of awe and nausea. Ichi the Killer is a sensory overload, a grotesque spectacle that explores themes of power, submission, and the limits of human endurance. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's definitely not for everyone. But beneath the layers of gore and madness lies a strange, dark comedy. You might laugh, not because it's funny, but because the sheer absurdity leaves you no other choice. It's the kind of laughter that comes from disbelief, from being pushed to the edge and back. If you're willing to dive into a world where violence is both the means and the message, Ichi the Killer might just blow your mind, or leave you wishing you'd never pressed play. It's grotesque, mesmerizing, and unforgettable, even if it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Final verdict: watch it if you dare. Just don't say I didn't warn you.